This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. 2 men have been charged in connection with a crime spree on the Yakama Reservation in Washington state, which left 5 people dead over the weekend. In court documents filed Monday, James Cloud and Donovan Cloud are charged with assault with a deadly weapon. They're accused of stealing a car and holding a child at gunpoint while trying to escape. 5 people were found dead and 2 others injured in the community of White Swan. Police say 5 homicide victims in one incident is unusual, and the primary crime scene is complex. The homicides are still being investigated. Tribal, county, and federal agencies are working together with the FBI as the lead agency. According to court documents, both men are enrolled members of the Yakama Nation. The U.S. Army plans to disinter the remains of 6 Native children who died at Carlisle Indian School in Pennsylvania more than 100 years ago. The Carlisle Cemetery closed this week and is expected to remain closed to visitors until July 7th. In respect to families, tribes, and Army protocol, the area will be enclosed with private fencing. Tribes have been working on repatriation efforts for years to bring home remains of children who attended and died at the federal boarding school. Last summer, remains were returned to the Northern Arapaho tribe on the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming. This is the 3rd year in a row the U.S. Army will disinter remains. The Hillsborough County School Board in Florida plans to discuss Indian mascots at its meeting Tuesday afternoon. In May, the district announced 6 schools would drop their Indian mascots, while 2 other schools would keep them. The district then sought input following the announcement. The decision came after meetings between school officials and a Native American advisory committee. Health experts say fast and processed foods are contributing factors to diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, especially in Indian country. But as KLCC's Brian Bull reports, tribal communities are embracing food sovereignty as a way to fight these problems and instill cultural pride.
Go for it. The ground is so soft.
On a wildlife reserve outside of Eugene, Oregon, about a dozen youth, mostly indigenous teens and kids, prepare to plant camas. Regional Indians have long harvested the bulbs and baked them, and today's group is learning what makes this food special. Joe Scott is a Siletz tribal member and educational coordinator for what's called Team Traditional Ecological Knowledge.
We are what we eat in more ways than just sort of that trite statement. We're made of the bones of our ancestors. These plants grow from the ground, and the ground holds our ancestors, and that cycle just continues as our people in the ground provide nutrients for the next generation of plants that sustains the next generation of people. And it's a cycle that continues on and on and on.
Other groups revisiting traditional foods include the Northwest Tribal Food Sovereignty Coalition and the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission. Buck Jones is a Cayuse Umatilla Indian who's with both groups. He says their efforts are challenged by several factors, including climate change.
The water temperature, it's just increasing. 3 years ago, there was a real bad year for the water and the high temperatures. So some of the tributaries that some of the salmon would return back to, they would have little or no water. So they had nowhere to spawn.
Other tribes are providing garden space for members to grow their own food or teaching about nutrition. Some, like the Makah Indians of Washington state, have lobbied to get traditional whale hunts restored. For National Native News, I'm Brian Bull.
And I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced by Koahnic Broadcast Corporation with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
My day one.
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 Day one. Telling inspiring stories of alcohol recovery. Recovery works. Hope starts here. Go to recoveralaska.org to learn more.
And by the law offices of Sonosky, Chambers, Saxe, Miller, and Monkman, a national tribal rights law firm with offices in Washington, D.C., New Mexico, California, and Alaska, and online at sonosky.com.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.